I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Harley-Davidson V-Rod. Why is this bike so hated? It doesn't make any sense. The bike is a beautiful bike. There's no question about that. When you look at it, it's got some really cool lines. It's aggressive stance, everything. But why was this bike so hated when it came out? It doesn't make any sense. The reaction that it got when the bike came out. And the only thing I can think of is it was the timing of when the bike came out. So this bike was dreamed up. It was a brain idea by Harley-Davidson. I believe it was Willie G. He wanted a bike that could compete with what was coming in from other markets. We're talking Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki. Traditionally, all Harleys were air-cooled. And the newer bikes that were coming in, yes, they were predominantly air-cooled, but then those manufacturers switched and they started going liquid-cooled. And the reason for liquid-cooled is you could get higher revs on the engine without damaging it. So if you didn't want your engine to grenade on you, you had to have really good cooling. So they went liquid. Well, newer riders are starting to look at these bikes and they started to change. So Harley-Davidson, in a brilliant move, I think it was brilliant, saw this change. The rider demographic was changing. The old school riders, yeah, they had their Harleys, but they were older Harleys, and some people were buying the newer Harleys, but riders were changing their focus. They wanted higher revving bikes, greater speeds, something that the traditional Harley-Davidson couldn't do at the time because it was air-cooled. So Harley-Davidson had a race team, and they had an awesome styled race bike. So, but that's not going to be able to be on the road. You can't put a track bike on the road. So they took the best of that bike and they started to figure out what they were going to do. But they needed an engine. That was the starting point. They needed a powerhouse to drive this bike. Well, at the time, they looked around and who was making the best engines out there at this time? And the answer is Porsche. Yes, I said Porsche. And I know a whole bunch of people are going, yeah, it's not a Harley because it's got a Porsche engine in it. Wrong. Yes, Porsche had their hands in this engine, but so did Harley-Davidson. Now, with that being said, it's a Harley. Harley-Davidson went to Germany, they teamed with the Porsche engineers, and they redesigned an engine that they had for, I guess, the race bike, and they called it a Revolution engine. And yeah, it started a revolution, mainly with the older riders. So you have to look at why this all started to kind of blow up for Harley. The older riders, the diehards, these guys, traditionalists, and they didn't want change. They wanted the air-cooled Harley and everything else. And here comes a new concept bike. Now, Harley had to do a lot of engineering on this bike to give it the aggressive stance and everything they did. The frame isn't a solid welded frame. There's actually, it's sectional. Wider rear tire, more lowered, more aggressive. They did a beautiful job on it, and they tested this thing out and tested and tested and tested. And according to a documentary that I watched, I believe Willie G actually broke the first prototype because they had it all pieced together to figure out what they were going to do. The bike was sensational. More power, higher revs, faster speeds, just a brute on the road. But again, people and their opinions, and they're grabbing onto the yesteryears, couldn't accept that a Harley-Davidson had a liquid-cooled engine. Yes, when you look at the engine, it does have fins on the cylinder heads. They're there for decoration. I think that was a smart move to keep them because they look proper with them. If they didn't have it, it would look really weird. So the fins here are just, they're decoration. They don't really do any cooling. They probably do a little bit, but the radiator in front does all the cooling. So they designed it. About 2000, 2001, the first prototypes came out. They went into production, and then it hit the market 2002. And I guess they were really hoping it was going to take off, but it didn't.
Why do you guys hate this bike so much?
Anyways, the bike went into production 2002. It carried through into 2017, and that's when they stopped it. They made two different models. They made the Night Rod Muscle, which looks more chunkier. I don't think it looks as good as the Night Rod Special. I think the Night Rod Special was the best one they made, the way they styled the bike out. Engines were a little bit different. I think the Muscle had a little bit more horsepower to it, but you wouldn't really notice it. It was probably a heavier bike with all the mods that they did on it with the cowling and everything else. I wasn't a big fan of the Muscle. The Night Rod was a really styled bike. So they tried to sell it. They sold some. It is a very hard bike to ride, being that all the weight is lower. The bike wants to naturally stay upright, so cornering is a little bit difficult on it, especially if you're going a roundabout. I first rode this thing. I took my time going around a roundabout because I thought I was going to end up going off the bike and biting the road. But anyways, the bike is beautiful. It just didn't take. Again, these people didn't really accept the bike. They were traditionalists, and they didn't want anything different than the air-cooled Harley. It looked like a race bike. And Willie G had this styled out, a little bit more stretched out, a little bit more lower stance, more aggressive. He wanted a drag-looking bike, but road legal. So it has your tail lights, your brake lights, everything else that a road legal bike would have. It didn't sell. And I actually saw a video, and this was really funny. This one lady on the video pulls up to a guy who's test riding a V-Rod and starts screeching at him out the window of her truck that it's not a Harley, how dare he should ride it, get the Harley t-shirt off, it's not a Harley, blah, 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 blah. Just ignorance. This bike, if it's stock against stock Harley, air-cooled Harley, will take them with no problem. This thing's got torque and speed. Beautiful. Willie G, you made a beautiful bike. Anyways, people just hated it. Some people adopted to it, like newer riders like myself. I thought this thing was beautiful when I first saw it. Always wanted one. But other people didn't like it. It didn't sell. But they also sold them in the Australian market, and they sold them in the European market. And that's where these things took off. They were adopted by the riders a lot better than they were in North America. North America didn't work out. Europe and Australia is where these things actually took off and became really popular. Try and get one of these bikes in Europe. If you can find one stock, you're still paying, and the motor's in excellent shape or good shape, because you can't really get parts for these anymore. Well, I shouldn't say that. You can get a lot of aftermarket parts in Europe mainly Germany and Australia. Down under. The Aussies just love these things. Try and get a used one in great shape or good shape is going to, and not touched, so it's completely stock, is still going to cost you a lot of money. I was looking here in Canada, looking at the cost of these things, and a 2013, as this one is, this one's a 2013, was about $16,000. Untouched. Nobody's messed with it yet. You want to get them customized. If you're paying from a shop to get it, I've seen them as high as $64,000 on Facebook Marketplace, Auto Trader, and different other bike places where you can go. Yeah, they do command a higher price. Now, they're getting less and less. These bikes are getting fewer and fewer. Here in Canada, it's getting harder to find them. If you do find them, they're usually in not great shape. A lot of work's going to have to go into them, or they've been crash damaged, and you can salvage the parts to build another one into a non-crash damaged one. But they're getting harder and harder to find. You can find a little bit more in the States, but over in Europe, you can find a lot of them. But a lot of them are very heavily modified. They got a big 330 rear tire. Yeah, well, it looks really cool, not functional for riding at all. This one has a 260 on the rear, and I would stay with a 260. I'm not going any larger on that tire because it just makes it more difficult to ride, especially when you're cornering. The bikes are highly customizable. Now, my friend, Steve at Dauber's Choppers, is the person that sold me this bike, and it was stock. And I remember him saying, these are highly customizable. And I wish he never said that, because what did I go and do? I started hitting good old Google and looking up these bikes and what you could do with them. And believe me, the last thing I was thinking about was that old pocketbook, because I started shelling out money. But I was smart on how I did this bike. So I did my homework on them. Highly customizable, beautiful bikes, but I wanted a one of one. I wanted it to be mine. I didn't want it to look like everybody else's Night Rod special. So that's where I started to work on this bike. And oddly enough, there's still some haters of this bike out there. And basically, it's because it was liquid cooled, and Porsche, yes, I did say that word, Porsche had their hand in it. The technology that went into this bike to build it back in 2000, 2001, 2002, when it came into production and sold, was way ahead of anything that was in North America at the time. Liquid cooled engine, it's high revs, beautiful power. This technology went into future bikes. Yes, you traditionalists, it started a revolution, and that's why now some of the newer bikes are all liquid cooled, because you get the high RPMs. It just makes the ride more fun. All that technology has filtered down into other bikes. So this is kind of like the one that really started it for Harley, I would say, was the V-Rod. But again, the haters, and they're always out there, hated it. If you rode it, you got comments. It ain't a Harley. It says Harley-Davidson on it. Made by Harley. Produced by Harley. Sold by Harley. Registered as a Harley. It's got a Harley VIN. It's a Harley. Anyways, the bike started to become more popular later on. So I would say into 2020, 21, 22, 23, they started becoming more popular, but there was less of them. Anything that was out there was either crash damaged or they blown the engine out. Like I said, I got this off of my good friend, Dauber's Choppers, and then I started customizing the bike. Now, there's a right way and a wrong way to customize a bike, and I searched all the, the chat groups and everything about people customizing these bikes and the problems that they ran into. And the first thing that I saw was a common mistake is they didn't check what they were buying for the bike. Now, I got this cowling here from Zeal. It's actually been made by No Limit Customs in Germany. And there's a little thing you need to check. 1, the year of your bike. 2, the model. And the reason being is there's a set of pins back here where everything lines up. And if you've got the wrong one, they're not going to line up and you can't get this thing to sit right. Also, between the muscle and the night rod, the instrument cluster is different. And I've seen a couple of people get the wrong one and they've regretted it, because the last thing you're going to do is paint the things. I got some pictures I'll throw up here of where I was fitting the parts, so they were not painted, and that was to make sure the fitment was all done first before I started to drill holes and do any sanding and shaping to get everything to line up right. And then I went for paint after I got it all done and mocked up, including the new handlebars. These are not the stock handlebars for the V-Rod. I got these from a supplier. It's a young kid. He's opened up his own shop. And I got these sent in. Yes, they're from China. Don't freak out. And he's done some really high quality bars. Like, I was impressed. He has coated the insides, extra ported holes for your cables to go in that are beveled so there's no sharp edges. The bars were beautifully done. $495 plus shipping and customs clearance. But I got about 2.5 inch bars. They basically look like the shocks just come up and become handlebars, and it gives the bike a unique style. They're in a drag bike style. It makes it look really good. Like I said, highly customizable. I've seen these bikes lowered where you don't even have to have a jiffy stand. They sit down and they've got the little pad that they go onto that's mounted to the bottom of the bike, and it becomes its own kickstand, and the bike just stays upright and it's solid. With mine, I didn't want to go too crazy. It was my first one I was doing. So I took off the saddle, the back of the saddle seat. I took off the luggage rack, filled in the holes because it's very costly to get a new rear fender. You can still get them from Harley, but again, costly. And then I got the air shocks. Daubers, they helped put some of this stuff together. They did the shocks and wired up the air compressor, which sits under the cowling. They helped with some of the lights and the wiring to go into the bars for the turn signals, but all the other extensions and modifications I did myself. Painting done by Bike FX in Langley, British Columbia. These guys are amazing. They did a great paint job putting on the lettering, which is all hand done. It's not a decal. And then glossing over with the clear coat and the Harley logo in the back. I didn't put Porsche on it because in my mind, this isn't a Porsche bike, it's a Harley. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, Robbie, that's cool, but still, I don't get it. Well, the reason I'm making this video is because recently I had somebody make a comment to me about the bike. They were like, that's not a Harley. It's a Porsche piece of you know what. And I was like, well, this bike will take your bike any day. and it's a cool bike. It has got a endless style. They are becoming rare, and you know, when you're looking at a bike, you want something that doesn't look, unless you're into it, antique-ish. There's some really cool antique bikes. I'm not knocking them, so do not hate in the comments. I know you guys would just go and jump on the comments, go, oh, nothing wrong with antique bikes.
Honestly, I love antique bikes.
Anyways, these are becoming fewer and fewer, and the riders have changed. More and more people are wanting them. And this is where it gets really interesting. In 2025, about the beginning of the year around, I started seeing these things that Harley-Davidson was bringing back the V-Rod. Oh, did my ears perk up. It's like, whew, maybe in 2026 they'll actually start selling them. Maybe 2027. And the more I saw these ads and comments coming up that they're coming out with it, and I did some Googling on the interweb, and I found pictures of the concept bikes for the new V-Rod. And I was all excited. I was like, oh, I want one. Don't care if it's like 30, 40, 50 grand. I want one. Well, that was until I saw it. I saw the pictures of it. And I was really shocked. Actually, I was really disappointed.
Willie, what are you doing? The new one looks like garbage.
Yeah, the new concept bike for the V-Rod doesn't even look like a V-Rod. I'm going to post a picture up here, there, or maybe right there, of my bike. Now that was stock, and here's a picture right here of my bike in the state that it is now, customized. It looks beautiful. You wouldn't know that this was a 2013 at first glance. If you saw it, you'd think this was one of the newer bikes, maybe a 2025, 2026 maybe, just the way it's styled. But the new V-Rod, OMG. What are you thinking, Harley? You're gonna start the revolution all over again, and people are gonna hate the bike. My instant reaction was dislike. No way are you gonna catch me riding that new V-Rod. It looks like a moon bubble bike. I don't know any other way to. It looks like some futuristic Tesla-inspired piece of junk. It doesn't look beautiful. It looks kind of like a moon bike. It might as well be an EV. Just the way it's styled. And one of my friends said, you know, Robbie, you're reacting kind of like a kid with this. It looks kind of cool. And the first thing I said to him was, how are you going to customize that? How can you customize that to make it look like the older V-Rod? How are you going to customize it to make it look cool? So the new design, being like a space age bike, has a monoshock in the rear now. It doesn't have the twin shocks in the back like I do on these ones, and all the other older V-Rods run with twin shocks, unless you customize it and put a single shock in with a different swing arm. And people do that, and they do a really good job in customizing it. But the bike still has its nice true lines and looks really, really cool.
Harley, you're just gonna make people hate you again.
Anyways, the newer bikes, I don't think you can do much customization to them. Looking at them, I think it'd be probably pretty hard to customize the bars because of the way they integrate everything. The cowling, yeah. And if you did, it's not gonna fit to the profile of the bike. It's just gonna look like an ugly child. That's what it's going to be. So I don't know why they're doing it. And maybe that's why I haven't seen any of these bikes in any dealership out here yet. Maybe, and just maybe, they've already got the news that people, the V-Rod community, which is a very large community worldwide, just isn't accepting this new V-Rod coming out. If I was Harley, if I owned Harley-Davidson, and I knew that this bike, when it first came out, was so hated by these guys, the traditionalists, I would do a bit of a change. You know that the bike actually started to gain popularity near the end of your production line, okay? It really started taking off after you stopped making them. I would take a look at how people are doing these bikes up. Because, to be honest with you, who's going to keep it looking stock, right? I didn't keep mine stock. Anyways, who's going to keep their bike 100% stock? Nobody. Everybody does something to the bike to make it unique and their own. So I would, if I was Harley, I'd take a look on the interweb and see what people have done with the older Harley V-Rods. The Night Rod Special, to be more precise, was the better body style. Don't do another muscle. Really? It looked ugly to begin with. But the Night Rod Special, make that your base platform. Take a look what people are doing to it. Put a slightly wider tire. Maybe going to a 280. Maybe even going to a 300 if you want. But I would put air ride suspension on it, because everybody loves that. If you look a lot of the V-Rods out there now, the one thing you're going to see gone is the coil shocks. They're gone. They've put air ride into them. So I would put air ride in. Keep it dual shock in the back. Give up on the mono. Who wants it? It doesn't look good. It just kind of looks like a dirt bike or a moon bike. Keep the dual shocks. For the nostalgic people out there, keep the rear lights the way they are. Make them LED, maybe spruce them up, make them a little bit nicer, more modern looking, but kind of keep that look the way it was in the back. I thought about doing the delete for the turn signals and the brake light in the back and putting the nice LED strip. I took everything off and looked at it, and it just looked odd. It was like, yeah, okay, I can see more of the tire, cool, but to me, it looked unfinished, kind of like a car without a little spoiler on the trunk, right? Some automotive people, like the Jaguar for our Jaguar project, beautiful car, it needed that little spoiler in the back just to finish it off. Well, it's the same with the bikes. So make the plate holder a little bit further out. Take examples of what people have done with the cowling. Now I got the dipped in one with the instrument panel down here. That's what everybody seems to be going for. You might want to do the little hood scoop on it so it rams in, air down a little bit better. The side moldings and the bars. I have to say, the bars that they had on the V-Rods, the ones on the muscle, absolutely horrible. You can't do anything with those. The V-Rod ones were thinner tubing, but they look like a bicycle bar style. Put the drag bars on nice and thick, 2-inch, 2.5-inch diameter piping on it. notched out to handle the master cylinders. Stretch out that front, maybe put a bigger front tire on it than than what you did on the original bike. I've kept my original tire on the front, the tire size. I was looking at raking it out a little bit and then putting a larger tire on there. I don't know if I'm going to do it on this one. I might do it on the next bike build. Do it up a little bit more. But I would style your next one with all the other performance enhancements, the technology that you have now gained over more years building these liquid cooled bikes and the electronics and all the other stuff. I would incorporate it into something that brought back the original design of the V-Rod, the NRS, with all the more modern enhancements to it. Then I think probably it would sell, and it would probably sell quite quickly and across all different markets, whether it be North America, Europe, Asia, Australia. Exhaust, I would not do the same exhaust which the bikes originally came with a longer exhaust, the 2-into-1 or 2-into-2. I would go 2-into-1. I got the Vance and Hines short pipes on this, and I wrapped them. And that's the one thing, if you own a V-Rod, you get that nice bit of heat right there. Do it up like that. Wrap the pipes, do it all up, give the color choices. Battleship gray, there's this gray one I saw, and it's just mint. Black engine, gray frame, gray body panels, just looked mint. Do it up like that, and I think then it would be better than the Moon bike. Because I'm telling you, go Google it if you don't believe me, and take a look at it. It just looks like something that Tesla designed and said, "Here, Harley, here's a body, stick a real engine in it." It's not impressive. The engine stats are impressive, but I'm riding the bike and I want it to look good, not look like I want to hide my face. Of course, probably that's why we're all going full face helmets. You can't tell who's riding it. But anyways, I would do that to the bike and make a better bike. And then maybe, just maybe, these haters, well, they're all going away, will probably accept the bike. And that was pretty much the whole thing. All those people that hated this bike so much because it wasn't a traditional Harley-Davidson, well, if you look back then at the average age of those people, they're pretty much all slimming down in numbers now as the years get older. They're getting older, and yeah, they're pretty much hitting this place, or was it that place? I don't know. And it was really funny how everybody's perception of this bike had changed. Another conversation I had with somebody was, the engine. They didn't like the engine. It was the Revolution. And these people grew up with the knuckle head, the pan head, the shovel head, and the good head. Okay, maybe not the last one, but they didn't like this engine because it was shaped differently as well. It's more on an angle than the traditional Harley-Davidson engine. These are all the reasons these people hated this bike. And I think they were unfounded. If they actually had shut up for a few minutes and taken one of these out on a test ride, they probably wouldn't be hating it. But yeah, they did. And that's why this bike just didn't take off the way it should have. And now, if you want one, break out that pocketbook, because they're not getting any cheaper as these bikes get rarer and rarer. they are going up in value, especially if you've got a pristine bike that's in excellent condition and not chopped into some custom bike. I was very careful when I did everything on here that I was not chopping parts. I didn't want to damage the original frame or anything else on the bike, because then the value just drops. I still got all the original parts. If I sell it and the owner wants to put the original cowling back on, it's hanging in my office. They want to put anything else with bars, everything in boxes, wrapped, nicely protected, so it's going to be the same as when it came off the bike. And there's some pictures of when I was doing all this stuff, mocking everything up. And now I got one hell of a beautiful ride. I've got my dream bike, and I really didn't break the bank doing it. You figure the cost of a new Harley. So yeah, 16 grand, about 10 grand into it, 26,000 total. And now I've got a beautiful ride. It doesn't look like any other person's ride, and I can call it mine. And I actually had my hands on the build, so I can say this is my bike. It's not bought this way. I did have help from friends with some of the stuff on here, because I'm not a certified mechanic. My friend Steve he's a certified Harley mechanic, and when I checked everything what I wanted to do, I ran it past him that I wasn't going to do something that was going to end up me dumping the bike because something was going to fail. And the bike was done right, and it's a beautiful bike. So there's no reason to hate these things. But Harley, I hope you're listening. Don't make the bubble bike, don't make the moon bike. Revamp the old Night Rod Special, the same style, just with the newer tech and the newer refinements on your engines and your cooling systems, and make one hell of a beautiful bike. If you want, I'll help you. I would love to come down and help Harley-Davidson design the new one and say, this is a cool bike. That should be launched on the next space shuttle to the moon. So that's where we're at. So that's a little bit of history on the bike. They just got hated for no reason by these guys, the old timers that just couldn't handle change in technology. But Harley-Davidson made a smart move. They really made a smart move. So to kind of wrap it up, I hope they do bring back the V-Rod, and they bring it back in this type of style and not the moon bike. I think it would be a wise decision for them to bring it back. Maybe even partner again with, I know I'm going to say it. I know you guys are going to hate me for saying it, and I know you're going to comment on it. Maybe Harley should team up with Porsche again and make the next generation of the Revolution engine, the Rev 2 maybe, because I'm pretty sure their technology has improved, and if you guys partner again, you'll make a successful engine like you did on this. And just so some of those guys who ride the older bikes, well, when you got to do your oil changes and stuff, you got to do your oil, and then you got to do your primary oil and all that stuff. You got to drain it. I only use one drain plug. I put oil in, and that's it. I don't have to put primary oil in and gear oil in, transmission, one oil thing. That's it. Fill her up, make sure it's at the right level, and then I'm off and running. When I go to drain it, crack one bolt at the bottom, let it drain out, take the oil filter out, put a new one in, put the bolt back in, refill it, and I'm done. I'm gone. So these bikes are way ahead of their time when they were designed. So don't hate them. If you ever get a chance to ride one, do it, but be careful on them. They handle differently. And I want to get another one. I really want to get another one. If you guys are in Canada and you've got a line on I don't want anything under 2013. So 2013 or newer, in good shape, not mechanically bagged. The frame hasn't been warped any. It hasn't been any crashes or dumped. Hit up the comments. But I know the haters out there are going to go, oh God, he said Porsche again. But I think they really should team up with Porsche and build another one with this style. And yeah, I'd grab another one. But I'm looking for another bike to do a little more radical on this. I'll probably team up with Daubers again. Those guys are excellent down there. Great mechanics. Al there, we call him the wiring whisperer. That guy can trace electrical problems. He's really good at it. You got Steve, excellent mechanic. You can't go wrong. So that's where we're at. Now, we got new merch. The test merch came in. And I'm looking at finalizing the last little bit of the deals for merch. We're getting there. We've just gotten 3 more subscribers today, which was kind of really funny. One of them was my Amazon driver, because he was bringing me the new camera stuff. And like I said earlier, we just released our soundtrack. So I'm going to end the video with one of the tracks from the CD. Hopefully you guys like it. And you can comment in the comments below and let me know what you think of the soundtrack. It is available for sale. It's 99 cents a song. There's 12 tracks in the CD. Those funds help me keep the channel alive. So I'm going to end this video on that track. If you haven't clicked like or subscribe, do both, because the algorithm likes the likes. So please click like and then hit subscribe. Just give us a thumbs up. Give us that motivation to keep going. And yeah, the next videos will come out once I'm back. I've got to go out again on an assignment, and then we'll make another video. And this one will be the more, here's how you do this and stuff. This was just a short video about why people hated this bike so much, and it was not a founded reason. And to test out the new camera system with the different cameras going. And hopefully you guys like the idea of shooting from multiple angles with the cameras. The next one I'm going to be shooting with all 6. So yeah, until then, ciao for now and enjoy the music.
Dusty old cars, let us sing better days. hard luck, the old and the worn, to the loyal companions who weathered the storm. From junkyard treasures to the road once more, we'll bring them to life, hear their engines roar. Watch the chrome shine bright as we peel back the years. With a little bit of courage we'll silence the fears, bringing hope back to metal that felt so alone. In this world of machines we'll make them a home. With each turn of the wrench I feel the passion ignite, turning dreams into steel in the glow of the night. All decals peeling but the spirit won't quit. With every restoration it's a brand new hit. Friends gather around as the engines ignite, from a ghost in the past to a beautiful sight. Sipping cold beers as the engines roar loud in the symphony of wheels. We're standing so proud, reviving rust. It's a labor of love, from charger sparks to the stars above. We'll turn it back time, feeling that rush. We'll take it all back with a kick and a push. When the highway calls and the sunset is bright, we'll ride through this life together in the night, with the wind in our hair and a soundtrack so sweet. These cars have been waiting, now they're back on their feet. Each road leads a story, the journey's begun. With the roar of our engines we'll melt into one. So here's to the rust, the dust, and the grime. In this rock and roll garage we'll stand the test of time. So remember the neglected, the once lost and forlorn. With the heart of a lion